Welcome, fellow Biafrans. Thank you for joining where we are joining from across the world. If you're joining me from Biafra land, you're joining from Asia, from Europe, from America, from Australia, wherever part of the world you are joining from, I say that you guide and protect you. Today, I've come on this very place to discuss about the insecurity in that contraption called Nigeria. The insecurity has gotten to the extent that people can no longer pretend. Even those who claim to be standing for one Nigeria and preaching they are one Nigeria, they can't pretend anymore. They can no longer pretend. But the difference between us and them is that we are not just talking. We are acting on the ground to see that we end that insecurity by breaking up Nigeria. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what anybody does. The simple truth about the situation of the contraption called Nigeria is that you must have to end Nigeria if you want to stop the insecurity. The only way to stop the insecurity in Nigeria is to end Nigeria. There is no other shortcut. There is no shortcut for you to end the insecurity in Nigeria except by ending Nigeria. And that is why Biafran people are standing tall and making sure that we end Nigeria and get out of that contraption. Every other person might be pretending about it, even though they know that it's a serious situation. And when we talk about the insecurity in the contraption called Nigeria, everybody knows those who are responsible for the insecurity, including the insecurity you are seeing in the southern part of Nigeria, the insecurity you are seeing in Biafra land. The insecurity you are seeing in Biafra land is caused by the Fulanese. It is not a hate speech. It is not a propaganda. That is the truth and the only truth. The insecurity you are seeing in the southern part of Nigeria is caused by Nigerian government themselves. They are trying everything possible to destabilize the southeast. They are trying everything to make sure they destabilize Biafra land. And as they are trying, we are fighting back the best way we can. The only solution to end it all is to end Nigeria. And for those of us who have forgotten, if you don't know why the insecurity in Nigeria has increased, if you don't know why the thing that is happening in the north is happening, I would like to play a video for you to remind you. Everything that you see that is happening today have been spoken about by our Biafrans and Nigerians. These are the predictions he gave. And one of the strategies he told us that is going to happen. Things that he told us that will happen. They are happening before your own very eyes. But some of us pretend as if we don't see it. Don't be surprised when you see the insecurity that is happening in the southern part of Nigeria, in the north. If you see the kind of destruction that is happening in the north, the kind of life that is not in the north, it is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence. Anything that you see happening in the north today, it is something that our Biafrans and Nigerians have talked about in the day past. And the only reason why that insecurity in the north can never, ever be controlled is because they are still focusing on the southern part of Nigeria. They are still focusing on Biafra land. They have taken away all the military they are to use to fight the terrorists in the north. They push them to the southeastern part of Nigeria to pursue people who are not holding arms, to go and take the life of the innocent people who are asking for a legitimate right of self-determination. And because of the blood that are taken in Biafra land, that is why Chukwu have unleashed their own terrorists against them. Today, the northern part of Nigeria cannot, there's nothing to write home about it. The northern part of Nigeria have been taken over. And I want to remind you, I want you to listen to this video. What Mazen Nandekanu said in the past. Listen to this audio. Watch it carefully. This was what Mazen Nandekanu told us before now that will happen. Mazen Nandekanu spoke about it. And that is why if you see anybody that is talking, planning of any way to stop the insecurity, they are wasting their time. They better go and look for some. They better pull out. If they do not pull out the military they have in Biafra land, if they don't pull it out, the whole northern part of Nigeria will be taken over. It will be taken over, whether they like it or not. That is the word that came from Chukwu Karema through Amazi Nandekanu. I want you to hear this voice. Hear it again. I hear it clear.
We are very, very strategic in terms of our approach, not just to the disintegration of the damnable zoological republic, but its disempowerment. I did promise you many years ago that by the time we are done with Nigeria, the name Nigeria will no longer exist. That is where we are heading to. And for us to be able to accomplish that, we need to recreate the scenario of Yemen, the scenario of Syria, the scenario of Somalia in the northern part of the damnable Zoological Republic. And there is only one way we are going to achieve that. Anybody who rises up to become the head of the cabal, you will die. You have an eternal curse placed on you. And Maman Daura is dead, of course he's dead.
Did you hear him? I hope you heard him. You heard Mazen Nandekano very clear. Every single thing that is happening in the north is what he has spoken about. When you see the terrorists taking over the north completely, taking over the north. It is not just ordinary. This is something that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has spoken about. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said they are going to come to the south. They will come down south to come and begin to engage the Eastern Security Network. And as they come to engage the Eastern Security Network, they will leave their flank open and the terrorists will take over. That is what is happening today. Every time you see Hope Uzodinma are running to Abuja to go and order for soldiers, you see Hope Uzodinma going to Abuja to request for soldiers. They are pushing down all the military supposed to protect them in the north. They are pushing down to the southern part of Nigeria. And each time they come, they don't return. Have you ever asked yourself, all these soldiers that they are sending to Hope Uzodinma, every time 1,000, every time 1,000, where are they? Where are they? Have you asked yourself? Have you asked yourself, where are they? Each time they come, they never return. Each time they come to engage Eastern Security Network in our bushes, they never return. They never return. The war is on already, but so many of you seem not to understand. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that their land is going to be taken over. Their land will be like Yemen, Syria. That was the place he used as an example. Somalia, those are the places he used as an example to be compared to the north. That is how the northern part of Nigeria, and that is how the north is now. That is how the north is now. And if you see Nigerian military, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told you that they do not have enough soldiers, they don't have enough force to say, even Biafra, they don't have enough force to face us. They don't have more men than us. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say, people think it's a propaganda. Now I'm going to play a video for you to confirm what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is saying, to let you know that the Nigerian military are very few. They don't have enough force. They don't have enough military to even to face the ESN. They don't have enough military to face the ESN. The Biafrans have more than battalions. What is happening today is as a result of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. People who are talking of a game plan, it's as a result of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, that they are going to come. It is a matter of time. They will come down to the south. It is just a matter of time. They will come down to Biafra land to engage the Eastern Security Network. And as they come down, their home will be taken over. That is exactly what happened. That is what is happening today. And when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told you that they don't have soldiers, they don't have enough, you think it's a joke. Watch this video. Listen carefully to what this man is about to say.
Perhaps give us an insight on why Kaduna State. We've seen so much of the activities of these terrorist elements in that state.
Well, thank you very much, Sean. Now, straight off, Mr. Bukarchi, I have what he said. I start from the issues he raised about the problem of Nigerian security. It's not numbers, it's not equipment. With due respect, I will slightly disagree with him. There's a problem of numbers when you're talking of the military. A research has been done. You know, there is no specific formula which says a country of such size or such population should have such number. But what you do is international comparison. An international comparison of countries with similar population, with similar area, with similar GDP, even among our neighboring countries of Niger, Cameroon, Chad, you will find that Nigeria is underserviced as far as the size of our armed forces is. We are a country of 160 up to 200, depending on source, million people. And then our total strength of the armed forces is not up to 150,000. All ranks, that is Army, Air Force, and Navy. So certainly, and we're a country, or like other countries, even neighboring countries, that have a reserve force, an official reserve force. We do not have a reserve. So this conflict caught us with inadequate numbers. There is no doubt about that the numbers we have compared to our size of country, the size of problem we're having is not enough. There is also the problem of equipment. I have seen the budget, and to be fair to this government, in terms of budgetary allocation.
I hope you heard him. I hope you heard him clearly. That the number of soldiers Nigeria have is 150. 150,000. 150,000 soldiers is what Nigeria, including the army, the air force, every force they have is 150. If you see the people that appear, the people that came to the volunteer force that Biafra have is more than 1 million. They are more than 1 million. These people have only 150. These are the people who are boasting of population. These are the people who are boasting of diversity. They are boasting of their population. They have 200 and something million people. People that have 200 and something, they can only produce 150,000 soldiers. 150. Their whole military as a whole. When Mazen Nanakano is saying it, you would think it's a joke. When Mazen Nanakano say it, you think it's a joke. Now somebody is saying it on their national television. People are no longer joining the army. People are not willing to fight with them because they know that the contraption called Nigeria is not there to serve their purpose. People are waking up. Nobody is ready to serve. 150,000. That is what this man is saying that they have. How can they stand? How can they stand the Biafran army? How? Assuming Mazen Nanakano decide to declare Biafran army, raise the army for Biafra, how can they stand them? Only the volunteer force we have in ESN, they cannot stand them. That is why Mazen Nanakano told you that part of the strategy is that they will pull down to the southern part of Nigeria. They will come to engage the ESN in the bushes. And when they come to engage ESN, they will leave their back open. And their terrorists, their own terrorists that they trained, will take over their land. They will not have a place to return. That is what is happening today. That is exactly what is happening today. The northern part of Nigeria have been taken over. And it is not a joke. If you think it's a joke, if it is a child play, I want you to hear another confirmation on the situation in the north to tell you it is not a child's play. Watch.
The governor of Kaduna State. And I'd like Mr. Bukati to come back into the conversation. Let me read again what Governor Nasir El-Rufai said. He said, and I quote again, I have complained to Mr. President, and I swear to God, if action is not taken, we as governors will take actions to protect the lives of our people. If it means deploying foreign mercenaries to come and do the work, we will do it to address these challenges. Mr. Bukati, these are the words that we quoted for, the governor of Kaduna State has said. What's your view on using mercenaries? Can we go that route?
First, showing El-Rufai's statement or outburst is echoing the frustration of many Nigerians. Many Nigerians have seen how Nigeria is failing them and how they are suffering in human lives and in their property. And this is not a sustainable thing. We cannot continue in this way. But when it comes to the question of mercenaries, the first thing is that no governor, El-Rufai suggested that Northwestern governor will employ mercenaries. Our constitution is very clear that they cannot do that. That's unconstitutional. They do not have the power under our laws, even to arm their own citizens to fight, because under the Firearms Act, governors do not have the power to issue license to carry weapons, especially military-grade weapons, which is needed in this fight. But number three, El-Rufai himself knows that. He knows that he doesn't have the constitutional power. But then who would have thought a politician will play to the gallery and do political posturing in an election year? Because that's what's going on, unfortunately. And this is not an issue we should be politicizing. El-Rufai's statement, even Minister Amechi's statement, clearly show that those in government, those in the ruling party, have now recognized or understood or are ready now to admit that the government solution is not going the way, to plan, and that the government is not winning the war against these people. When it comes to the question of numbers, which is something I raised in the beginning, of course, I said numbers do matter, and it is a problem, but that's not the biggest problem. And Group Captain gave an estimate of 150 forces. Of course, the estimate I have is 250,000 forces in the Nigerian Armed Forces. And you won't look at it from the Nigeria's own number, because there are countries that do not even have a standing military. What you need to measure that against is the number of the criminal and terrorists and the insurgents we are talking about. All the estimates show that there are less than 50,000. Why is a conventional military with the backing of the state, with all the equipment that they have, including the jets and all the equipment they have, and the knowledge and the intelligence gathering capacity that they have, why are they failing to defeat a military of less than 50,000? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. I completely agree.
Let me bring Group Captain so they can to the solution.
Yeah,
mercenary.
You have heard it. That is the situation. Even the man that is talking now have increased it to 240. Even at 240,000 military, Air Force, Navy, Army, out all of them, 240. Even at 240, they are still not enough to face the ESN. The volunteer force alone we have in ESN is up to 1 million. You saw them on video. You saw the video of the volunteer force of ESN. You saw the video. People are not joining their military. And could you imagine that somebody like El-Rufai of all people today is crying in his own state? He is crying, thinking of going to bring machinery. Nigeria with 200 and plus million people, you don't have enough soldiers in your country to fight for you. They are talking of going to bring machinery from another country. El-Rufai is talking of bringing machinery from another country. That is to show you that there is no more military in Nigeria. There is no military in Nigeria anywhere. Look at Kaduna State. Kaduna have been taken over completely. They have been taken over completely. Where have they not attacked in Kaduna? They have gone to their NDA. They attacked NDA. There was nobody to repel them. Nobody was captured. Nobody was arrested. They go to the international airport. Nobody was captured. Nobody was arrested. They bombed the train. Nobody was arrested. They shot down an aircraft. Up till now, nothing will have been done. They closed down the road. Nothing was done. What is that telling you? There is no military in Nigeria. Just as Mazi Nankan said that is broadcast. Just as Mazi Nankan saying that the broadcast, that they are going to leave their flank to come to Biafra land to come and begin to fight the ESN. And they will die in our bushes. They will come to face our ESN in the bush and they will die in the bushes. Mazi Nankan said it, that the battle will be in the bush, not in the city. If they decide to face the ESN, and that is why every time you see ESN, they never come to the city. And then, instead of them going to bush to engage ESN, they come to city and begin to burn house of innocent people. This is what these terrorists do. They come and burn house of innocent people. They do not have enough military to face the Biafran people. This is the absolute truth. You have seen the confession on their national television, the number of soldiers they have. Biafra volunteer force alone, the ESN volunteer force alone is greater than them. You saw the video. We have more than 1 million. And these are people who are focusing on fighting Biafra. Look at what that guy is saying. They can't even be able to finish a ragtag team of 50 or 20,000. They can't be able to finish them. They can't be able to face them. And they left all their flank. They pump all their soldiers to where innocent people are living in Biafra land to begin to take the life of innocent citizens. And Mazi Nankan made that promise to them that they will never have a hope to return. That the northern part of Nigeria will turn to Syria. It will turn to Afghanistan. It will turn to Somalia. And that is exactly what is happening. That is exactly what is happening in Kaduna State today. When Mazi Nankan said it, people thought it was a joke. They thought it was making noise. Mazi Nankan saw all this is coming, and that was why he established ESN. The ESN Mazi Nankan established to protect the Biafran people against these terrorists. Instead of the politicians supporting him, they came against him. They came against Mazi Nankan, and that was one of the reasons why they went to Kenya to kidnap Mazi Nankan and sent him to Nigeria through extraordinary division, simply because he wanted to protect his people. They don't want him to protect his people. They want to take him out by all means. What crime has Mazi Nankan committed? Nothing. He only asking for self-determination. He put in place a security outfit to defend the land, protect his people from terrorists. Instead of him to be encouraged, instead of the governor to support him, the governors went to Abuja to go and invite Boko Haram in uniform to begin to take the life of innocent people. And they sent the Boko Haram in uniform. Today, you see people losing their life in Biafra land. A lot of people have died in Biafra land. Many people lost their life and their property. It is still happening as you're watching this video. For what reason? Innocent people who have not done anything wrong, only because they identify as Biafrans. That is why they are being killed. And they think they can go free. That very thing they are attacking Mazi Nankan for is what they are asking for in their Senate today. Today, senators are advocating to allow Nigerians carry arms. But Mazi Nankan established Eastern Security Network to protect Biafran people. They call him a ghost. They call him a man of names. Today, they are calling the federal government to allow Nigerians to bear arms. Which one is worst? Which one is worse? Allowing everybody to bear arms and forming a security outfit that will control the inflow of the terrorists. Which one is worst? Which one is much better? Which one is much better? Is it not better for you to allow a security outfit to begin to operate and protect their people than for you to say, let everybody carry arms? These two, how can you compare two of them? The same reason they want to kidnap money today in their house of assembly. In the House of Assembly today, they are advocating to allow Nigerians to carry arms. I want to play the video for you to watch and see with your eyes. You will see the video. Listen carefully to what this man is about to say.
Mr. Speaker, I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to put behind the mover of this motion my emotion-laden voice. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to also speak in the capacity of the leader of the House, who of course is the ambassador of government on this floor. You can see how this chamber, Mr. Speaker, is thrown into disquiet. How this chamber is thrown into emotionally disturbed manner, so emotional, by the statements and pronouncements anchored by the mover of the motion. When you have a government in place, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the major responsibility of that government, especially a democratic one, which was elected by the people, is to ensure safety of lives and property of its innocent citizens. Mr. Speaker, when things like this continue on daily basis, those of us who are representatives of government, Mr. Speaker, we become speechless. I have to repeat, we become speechless in the discharge of our duties here to depend actions by government. This is an elected government under a popular democracy, Mr. Speaker. But we continue day in, day out, killings, massacre, banditry, armed robbery all over, left, right, and center. This is a report from just one local government out of the 774 local governments of the Federation. One local government, Giwa local government. And the case of Giwa is not just a new case that happened last week or just yesterday that he's reporting. He is only giving us the most recent happening. Giwa has been engulfed by banditry, crisis, and killings for the past 2-3 years. And Giwa has fallen, coincidentally, in a state that we call Kaduna State, where you have the representation of Nigerian military and other security agencies, the highest place you can count in the northern part of the country. Why should these things continue to happen? I think government and officials of government, not even the security agencies of course are under democratic authority. Government in this case has to rise up to its responsibility, call a spade a spade. If it's about funding, each and every one of us here knows we have never had any cause to contemplate funding our security agencies. And I believe our relevant committees are following up in terms of implementation of such fundings through our budgets, through their oversight processes. Then why things should continue this way? We are here for Nigerian people, and we must speak for Nigerian people. We cannot sit down here, fold our arms, see our electorates, people who elected us into our respective offices, being killed by the day. I think if there is any other thing I should add to this motion, Mr. Speaker, with due respect to our institutional existence, that, Mr. Speaker, on account of this institutional failure, regimental failure on the part of our security agencies, because you have just no cause to even raise any excuse for any one of them. Funding is provided. Here we are now as an institution. We have now sent signal, invitation, let's come and meet with the people of Nigeria. We are indeed the people of Nigeria here, representing our people. Come and interface with us. Let's see how we can still put heads together and really address some of these problems, these perennial problems. At the end, what they did, right from head to top, the IG, the DSS, every one of them sent a representative. This is a matter that is beyond a mere representative. The chief executive officer or the chief commanding officer of every security agency owes Nigerians a duty to come and honor the call of the parliament. I'm not trying to preempt, Mr. Speaker, the actions and the good intentions of the committee set by this honorable house. But security agencies must know that they have to stand up and respect the position of the institution of the parliament, because here you have the people of Nigeria represented in this capacity. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, with all sense of responsibility, with all sense of commitment, and the fact that yes, even after this world, this very world, we shall all rise to answer our Father's name in the next world, to account for our actions. I think Nigerians at this moment should be allowed to also take arms. Nigerians must be allowed to take arms in defense of their innocent souls, defend their hard-earned resources and property. Because it's like a monumental failure. If the agencies of security have failed, then Nigerians should not be failed. Nigerians should not be seen as a failure. Let Nigerians organize themselves in the name of civil defense. Civil defense. Let them organize and raise defense for their own souls, innocent souls. Because if the responsibility of the government and the security agencies cannot be carried out democratically, then let's go to jungle. Everyone has cause to defend himself. Nigerians should no longer be running away from attacks. Nigerians should no longer be running away from unnecessary banditry in the face of helpless and baseless situation when government and security agencies is like they're failing in their basic responsibility. No one else can be better than Nigerians. No one else can be better than the people who elected us here. If at the end, the stake of our people can be put at this high sense of deadly challenge, day in, day out, you leave your house, you won't know what happens to it the next day, and you continue to call yourself a free citizen, free Nigerian. Why will you allow ourselves be forced to the wall? Mr. Speaker, this is my take, and I want you to build on this, that the committee that was set by this committee, yes, by this honorable house yesterday, to interface and engage with the security agencies must be taken with all sense of seriousness. And if any one of them fails to come, Mr. Speaker, we enforce the wrath of the law on him, because we have the instrumentality of the parliament here as an institution to summon anyone by hook or by crook.
I hope you heard him. I hope you heard him calling for Nigerians to pick up arms, calling for self-defense. This is the hypocrisy you see in the contraction called Nigeria. A great hypocrisy. That same thing that the Biafran people are doing, that self-defense we have activated, that self-defense that Mazen Nandekano have activated to defend Biafra land from the terrorists. That same reason why they went to Kenya to kidnap Mazen Nandekano, that same reason why they are torturing Mazen Nandekano, that is what they are advocating for. So it is not right for a Biafran to defend themselves, but it is right for a Fulani to defend him or herself. It's right for the Northerners, other people to defend themselves, but Biafrans cannot defend themselves. He is calling for self-defense, asking that Nigerians should be allowed to bear arms and defend themselves. These are a bunch of hypocrites, people who cannot see beyond their nose. Mazen Nandekano, who is proactive, before anything happens, Mazen Nandekano saw it coming and he established the ESN. Mazen Nandekano saw what is happening today. He saw it coming. He established ESN. After establishing that ESN, instead of them to support that ESN, instead of these criminal politicians in the Biafra land to support that ESN, what did they do? They begin to go against him. They stood against him. They unleashed all manner of evil against Mazen Nandekano. It is still because of that same self-defense that Mazen Nandekano activated is one of the reasons why they kidnapped Mazen Nandekano from Kenya and sent him to Nigeria. And today, look at somebody in the House of Assembly. Somebody in the House of Assembly advocating for the same thing that Mazen Nandekano have already done. This is how they are, bunch of liars and hypocrites. How can any sane person be calling himself a one Nigerian? How can any sane person want to be in this kind of a contraption in a place where you have bunch of liars, people who are not reactive, people who are not proactive, they're only reactive, they only react to things when something happens, they cannot see beyond their nose. How can anybody be proud to be part of that very contraption? You have seen it. There was another video I saw where one of the GOs in Nigeria, one of the pastors, I think a redeemed pastor, one of the general officers already came out. He was saying all manner of things. Is it today that those things he's saying? Is it today that they happen? These are things that have been happening from far for a very long time. These are the things that Mazen Nandekano have been crying, shouting about, and they call him all manner of names. They call him ethnic bigot. They call him troublemaker. They call him all manner of names. All these GOs and pastors, they were there, they kept quiet. Mazen Nandekano have been shouting about these issues. He has been crying and shouting about these issues, shouting on top of his voices. They know that this is what is happening, and they kept quiet. All of a sudden today, you see them talking. Everything he said, is it today happening? Let's listen to what he said. You hear what he said. Everything he said, it is what is happening, but is it today that it's happening? It has been happening for a very long time. Why have they been silent all this while? Hear him.
You can't go to Kaduna by road. You can't go to Kaduna by air. You can't go to Kaduna by train. Question number one, why Kaduna? Question number two, who is trying to isolate Kaduna? Question number three, why? Question number four, after Kaduna, which next? More than 80% of all the oil we are producing is being stolen, and nobody has denied it. It came from the government. Number one, who is the one stealing the oil? Number two, where is the money going to? 80% of what should have been the income of a nation is going to the hand of some people. What do they want to do with the money? Who are the foreign nations buying this stolen oil? How many of these nations of the world are your friends? More than 90% of our income from the leftover of the oil that was stolen, we are using it to pay the interest of the money we have already borrowed. And then it is news. I'm sure you listen to the news. We are borrowing more. Meaning what? According to a friend of mine, we are moving steadily to bankruptcy. If that God does not intervene, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren will still be paying debt.
You heard him. Ask this man, where have he been all this while? All this while, Mazen Nandekano have been crying about this very thing he's talking about. Very long time, Mazen Nandekano have been ringing it like bell, shouting on top of his voice. All of them pretend like they are not here. Is it today that he knew that they are stealing the oil of Nigeria? 80% is being stolen. Is it just today that it happened? Why is he just talking now? Why is he just talking now? This is the man that gave you the vice president that you have now. The same general overseer that you just had his voice. He's the person that gave you the Osibanjo, you see, the vice president of the country. He's the one that gave the vice president. He produced the vice president, and up to now, he could not be able to change anything. Is it today that he knew that the oil is 80% of the oil of that country is being stolen? Is it today that he knew that they've been borrowing and borrowing and borrowing? Is it today he knew about the insecurity? All along, Mazen Nandekano have been shouting and crying. Biafrans have been crying and dying. Biafrans have been dying. Where have they been? They kept silent. Always late. They are now crying when the head is already off. When the head is already off, we are not interested in all those complaints. Biafrans are going home. Likewise, some of Oduduwa brothers. Oduduwa people are going. Biafrans are going. It has ended. Nigeria has ended. Anything you are preaching as remedy. Now, election is coming. All of a sudden, all of them are coming out from their hiding places to talk. Because election is coming, everybody is coming out from their hiding places to give one opinion or the other. At the end of the day, you see them, they will present one candidate for you. And when the candidate begin to loot, they will never say a word. His own pastor in his church is the vice president, his own pastor, the vice president of the country, of the very government he's complaining about. So you want to tell me that you cannot call your vice president and ask him questions? You cannot caution your vice president. You cannot speak to the vice president that you handpicked and gave to Tinubu, and Tinubu provided him to the church, and church voted for him. Today you are complaining, even when the head is already off, and your complaint is not genuine because because of the election. Where have you been all this while before these things have gotten to this stage? All these things you've mentioned and complained, it didn't start today. The stealing did not start today. These are what Mazen Nandekano have been complaining, crying about, shouting about. This is what Biafrans are shouting. This is what some Oduduwa people, are crying about, why they want to leave Nigeria. These are the reasons why we want to leave Nigeria. We don't want to incur debt for our unborn children. We don't want to incur debt for our unborn generation. But every single one of them have kept silent and pretend that they're not hearing me. all of a sudden now you are coming out to speak. Well, it is too late because we are going home. We are going home. The Biafrans are going, the Dua people are going, the Middle Belters are going. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, we are going. Let the northern part of Nigeria prepare to deal with their Afghanistan, deal with their Somalia, and deal with their whatever they have. Let them deal with it. We are going, and they cannot stop us. As they continue to move to the southern part of Nigeria, they continue to move to Biafra land to come and engage the ESN, their flank will be open, and terrorists will take over their land completely. Just as far as Nana can say, their land will be taken over. It is going to happen. It is going to happen. They cannot escape it. No matter how they try. If they like, let them use Soludo and do whatever they are doing. Then try to distract the Biafran people. No amount of distraction will make us stop asking for our freedom. No amount of distraction. Every distraction they are bringing is dead on arrival. I thank Chukwu Okabiam for every Biafran that is standing strong. Every Biafran man and woman, wherever you are, and you are standing strong, facing the challenge, doing the needful, focusing and doing what you're supposed to do. I pray that Chukwu Okabiam will guide and protect you. Every hand that have shared this video, everybody that have joined me in this broadcast from the beginning to the end, I pray that Chukwu Okabiam will guide and protect you and secure you. We will continue until Biafra come. May Chukwu Okabiam guide and protect every Biafran, guide and protect the Dudua people, guide and protect the Middle Belt, guide and protect every single man and woman that is genuinely fighting for their freedom. May Chukwu Okabiam guide and protect our Supreme Damas and Nandekano, secure him and protect him and bring him back to us very soon. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. And remember, see you again tomorrow by the special grace of Chukwu Okabiam. Bye-bye.
Are yet to wake up from your slumber or your sleep and get the point that we are exiting Nigeria. Exiting Nigeria is not going to come from the platter of golden plate. You have to sacrifice for it. And we are ready to sacrifice everything, including you, if you come and stand on the way of freedom. So you need to know how serious we are. We are damn serious. Some of you are not getting it. You think we are here to build political movement? We are here for freedom. Freedom comes with price. Okay? The only thing you can do is to comment on social media. Don't ever stand on the way of Biafra freedom. We crush you.
Their interest is suppressed. Biafra is the key. Once they can hold Biafra down, they can hold the whole of Africa down. Hey, freedom fighting, sorry. Because all these people are criminals, they are saying there is no way this man cannot be a criminal like themselves. They don't have a different breed altogether. They don't know that. I am Nnamdi Kanu. I don't do all this nonsense you do. My father was a very rich man, not ostentatious. I had the finest education that his money could afford. We are not poor. Have never been. That is why a poor man cannot be a freedom fighter. If you're not full of yourself, you cannot be a freedom fighter. You cannot go everywhere. We must continue.